Nick Hilkins outside London Stadium, West Ham Fan TV, post-match reaction. We haven't done one of these in a while, but even though we've done one of these in a while, boys, nothing changes. That's 5 losses in a row. Just been well beaten by Burnley.
Burnley?
No, we
ain't that bad.
No, yeah. I'm going back to them.
Bad, mate. Pellegrini ain't here.
Well beaten by Brentford. And I think that's the end of him. I think that's the end of the line for David Moyes. I can't see where we're going to get points from.
Yeah, I said it last night on the preview. Like, there's got to be a change in the football club. You see when the second goal went in, the body language of the players, even the first goal. I know Rice tried geeing them up a little bit, but there's something definitely wrong in that change room, and there's a rift. And I think look, you can't get rid of a squad of players. So the only person that can come in and unite this squad and get them playing better is a new manager, because I can't see Moyes turning it around.
He's lost it, hasn't he?
Yeah. You look out there, there's no team spirit. It looks like a bunch of individuals playing football. It looks like they've been thrown together. No one knows what they're doing. Look, he made changes today, which we were all calling for. He dropped Souček. He went for.
Do you think he bottled it a little bit with the formation?
The 5 at the back, yeah.
I'll be honest though. I think we started really well. We started better today than we have in the last 5 previous games.
Yeah, look, this 5 at the back is a system he obviously wants to play, and we've just not had the players available to do it. Maybe he went to 5 at the back because when you look at Bonner, Dawson, Creswell, ageing, not very quick. Brentford have got a lot of pace in their front line, and maybe he went for the 5 to try and nullify that. But in doing that, you ended up with an overload on the left-hand side with Ben Rama, Emerson, and Creswell all trying to occupy the same space, and none of them crossing the ball into the box. Yeah. We just don't look. There's no togetherness there. There's nothing.
I think there's a lack of leadership on the pitch. Look, I've said it before about Declan Rice. I think he's a great player. I just don't think he's a great captain. And that's just me being honest. I don't think that he gives enough as a captain. And look, I know captains off the field have to do a lot. And I don't think that pressure put on him is right. I think last season, when he was on the field captain, he had Noble doing all the shit. So why not let him concentrate on the team and let another senior player take that role on, take that responsibility off of him?
I'll be honest, I said it at the time, he's too young to be club captain. We've done this to Joe Cole. When we was going down with him, we made him club captain at 21, 22. I don't think it does him any favours.
Problem is, the difference is, though, is with Joe Cole, at that time, he had a lot of senior pros around him, a lot of experienced players. We've got them here, but they're just not good enough.
He's got the right people around him. When you look at, the likes of Bonner, Creswell, Dawson, they're experienced players, Fabianski as well. It's just the fact that nobody's in form. You can't really sit there and say any player out there in that starting 11 or on that bench is in form. And this is the problem we've got. We've got everyone out of form at the moment. He's trying to G him up, but as we know, this is probably going to be his last season. You see a Bonner trying to G players up. You're not getting enough of that. There's not enough spirit. There's not enough togetherness. It just seems devoid of something.
I think this is my opinion. Brentford are very strong in midfield. They always play a 3 in midfield. In the game where you probably wanted to play a 3 in midfield, he's left 2 and he's picked Paqueta again, which I think was the wrong option to be picking in a 2-man midfield against 3.
I disagree, because who else do you pick? You can't play Souček.
Downs.
I think with the way we are at the moment, you need players in there like a Flynn Downs, like a Fornells, who's going to get stuck in. I didn't see one player today go to ground to win a title, apart from Declan Rice. I didn't see any other player on that pitch go to ground, get stuck in. And that's what we lack as well. We lack that bit of fight, that little bit of spirit. You go back seasons past. You look at that season under Avram Grant. Okay, we were shit, but we had a Scott Parker in there. We had someone in there who was willing to give everything for that shirt. Well, I don't see that out there with any of them players.
No, and that's the problem. Like I said,
I agree with that.
Downs probably will bring it, but then why not go 3 in midfield? Why not play Paqueta, Rice and Downs? Have Downs as the holding at a 3, which then allows Paqueta and Rice to be the box-to-box. Then you can start playing the triangles. You look at points when Brentford had the ball today, the triangles that they were playing, one-touch football, knocked it round us like we weren't now. With us, it's 3-4 touches, play the ball, 3-4 touches, play the ball, back, side, cross-field pass. Predictable football. I think Dom summed it up in a fan cam when he said, teams suss us out. They know how we're going to play. You can see it from the fans' point of view. We get the ball out in the box. The opportunity is there to cross the ball in first time. We don't. And Samaka gets a lot of criticism. Would you want to be a striker playing in this team?
No.
Not knowing when that ball's coming.
Oh, well, if I was getting their wages.
But do you know what I mean? Where do you position
No,
yourself?
I do get what you're saying, and I did notice that a few times. There was times where Skamaka made that space in the box, and Creswell had the opportunity to put it in. No, he goes back to Emerson. Emerson has the opportunity to put it in. No, he goes to Ben Rama. Ben Rama for me was the only player out there today that looked like he wanted the ball. Yep. He looked like he wanted to make something happen. Obviously, it's against his former club, you know. But I think forget that. He wants to play, and he's the only one for me. He's one of the only ones that really shows that a bit of passion that he wants to play and wants to do well.
Totally agree. And the thing is, you look at the counter side of that. You look at the right hand side. Soufal's on his own. So you've got 3 players there not wanting to cross the ball, and then you've got Soufal on the other side who's got no other option but to cross the ball because there's no one there.
Brentford done well today. They limited us to. I looked at the stats. We had 63% possession, 20 shots, 5 on target. But look, we had Dawson shooting from 30 yards.
Yep.
You know, we had no options. And then when you got your centre back, you know, Dawson shooting from that distance, trying to create something. There's definitely problems there.
They weathered the storm. We started really fast, really quick. Looked like we was intent.
Yeah, Declan Rice had a great shot, hit the post. You know, we was on top, weren't we?
We were pressing as well.
We were pressing, yeah. And then all of a sudden, we give away stupid goal. And that was it. And Brentford, from there, they didn't get out of second gear.
They didn't need to.
They went through the motions. I see.
They could have pulled up in a lay-by and had a sleep.
I see a point where, at 2-0, they went on the attack. They missed an opportunity. It just went over. It flicked over a geezer's head, and I didn't see them sprinting back to the halfway line. They wasn't scared. Because you look at them players and you think they're not going to score.
And the thing is, Nick, we're still defending with 11 men in our box all the time. We leave no one up top, right? And Moyes is meant to be a counter-attacking manager, so we leave no one up top. As soon as Fabianski gets the ball, there's no one to roll it out to. There's no one to pass to. No one wants it. Everybody started to hide. 2-0 down, people started to hide.
There was one point in that second half where Fabianski had it. He fucking just threw it at Dawson. He panicked. Dawson didn't know what to do. He kicked it back to Fabianski and then he's just booted it out.
And this where it comes from. We don't leave a player up the field. We don't leave a target man. Don't leave somewhere with a bit of pace where we can try and put it into the channel. You don't need to be defending with 11 players in your box, especially 2-0 down. Leave 2 players up there. What's the worst thing? You're losing anyway. You've got to be proactive. You've got to go for things. We're not.
I think what summed up 2022 in the Premier League for me was Antonio's air shot. You know,
summed up Antonio.
No, but
I thought he was going to score a goal a season.
The thing is with Antonio, like, and the same with Bowen today. When they get on, Bowen was worrying them. They couldn't handle Bowen. Every time Bowen got that ball, they had 2 or 3 at him, and they was hacking him down. Look, a lot of people said it was a penalty. You know, it wasn't. Exactly. It was outside the box.
Maybe one of the 3 calls in the first half, I think, maybe should have been looked at. The way Dawson went down, as you know, from the guy come through.
I thought he chucked himself.
Yeah, but you know, you see him get given, and were they looked at? Well, we don't know.
Well, they're always looked at, ain't they? But it's just, I didn't think they was penalties. The Bowen one for me, I thought was a penalty, but I'm sitting fucking all the way over here. So, but when they pull it up on the screen, you think, okay, fair play, they've got it right for once.
Yeah, and to be fair, that's what VAR's there for, to make them decisions and get them right. You know, and it's bad to see for us, but it's good to see that they actually did get decisions right. But you know, there needs to be something that changes, and like I think Nicky said in the fan cams, you can't change the squad. So it's the manager.
We've been saying that for weeks, and people, look, you know me, I've always sort of backed David Moyes. I wanted him to turn it around. I just think he's gone too far now. I think the longer it goes on, as Dom said in his fan cam, you don't want his legacy to be here. We want to remember, when I think of David Moyes, in a few years' time, I want to think of that image of him at Leon away, when he's got the fans singing his name. That's how I want to remember him. I don't want him to, because whatever you think, I know we're in fourth from bottom now, but he's leaving this club in a better position than when he picked it up. We're in Europe.
Yeah.
So, and we've got a good squad there. He just needs someone to come in. They don't need a lot of money in January. There's a good squad of players out there. He just needs someone who's good at tactics, who can get them, G them up, someone who's going to give them a kick up the arse, drop players, and just have new...
Who is that man?
Look...
Do you think he's going to go tonight, by the way?
I don't know.
He'll be given Leeds. I think Leeds will be the curtain call. That'll be the one. Yeah.
But can we afford to? That'd be pretty much halfway through the season.
Scotty won't be getting the sack if he can get us in the lead.
Do you know what I mean?
I ain't seen the lead for a long time.
I don't see it tonight. I don't see it tomorrow. I think it will lose to Leeds. I think he's gone.
I think the reason,
they've got the Brentford game where they'll put Nolan in charge, and it gives them that period of time to get a new manager.
when we sacked Pellegrini last time, it felt different, didn't it? You come out here, even though we've lost tonight. I don't know if there's a few people still hungover, but it didn't seem that toxic like it did under Pellegrini. So maybe they might give him the next game, But while they're giving him that next game, they might be looking. They might be in contact with people.
To be honest with you, I think that was more to do with the board. I think that's more to do with the board. There is still anger towards the board, but whatever you say now, they can't have a go at him. They give him the money. Yeah. They gave him the money. They said, go and get what you need. He spent 18 months to buy a forward. I think the board are going to be looking up there tonight. I think the board are going to be looking at it. They're going to be looking at the Haller situation, the Anderson situation. They spent a lot of money on, and they've basically done the same thing with Paqueta and Scamacca. And they're going to be looking at him and go, well, Haller was a good forward before he come here. When he took over, we had to sell him at a loss. Blah blah blah. They can't afford to do that again with these two. And then you look at them two again. It's like take two, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Scamacca's obviously lost his confidence. He looks like Haller Mark II, and they're going to be looking at it thinking, well, we can't keep on spending £50 million on players, and then basically becoming flops. And he's got a good history of that here.
And the thing is as well, when you look at it, we sign a striker like Scamacca, and we don't play to his ability, we don't play to his strengths. Again, same with Haller. When Haller was here, we never played to Haller's strengths. We never pressed hard at the pitch. We never got players close to him. We tried to play counter-attacking football. It's what you're seeing here tonight. That's why it suits a player like Antonio who's got pace.
I think what the situation was different between then and now is it was working then.
Yeah.
It's not working now.
Exactly.
So they're going to be looking at it and thinking, well, he can't get a tune out of them.
The only thing that worries me is that we know they're not going to throw money at a Tuchel. They're not going to throw money at a Poch. You're looking at Daesh, Parker. I said to you the other day, the other option would be Bielsa, who would be... Yeah, I know you don't like him, mate, but with the players we've got and the style we want to play, it might work.
We can't defend anyway, so...
and then you look at some other managers, like Scott Parker. Scott Parker was a great player for us, but... He's not. He didn't do well at Bournemouth. He got sacked for a reason.
Michael Carrick's name being banned.
Yeah, but Michael Carrick's had a few good games with Middlesbrough in the Championship. He can't just step up. Steven Gerrard is another one. I don't.
When you're looking at it from the board's point of view, as much as Moyes tried to say we're in a European battle, we're in a relegation battle. So you're going to look for someone who's experienced in this situation, who can get the best out of players, who can, like you said, can G them up, can get a lift, can get them working harder. And there's only one person
will end up being back
but that's what I'm saying. You're not going to go back there. You're looking at Sean Dyche. Unless you're going to try and change completely. We're not going to get a Tuchel.
The thing is with Sean Dyche, he'll come in, he'll give him a boot up the arse, and you'll probably go on a little run. It'll probably be as similar to when Moyes first come to this football club.
Yep.
But then, after 2 defeats, they just turn on him again.
Exactly,
someone like I said, we don't really need to spend big in January. So go and say to Thomas Tuchel, who wants us to stay in London, he likes London, there's a project here, give him till the end of the season. If we stay up, it triggers a clause where he's got to stay for another 2 years.
I think the problem is I think 2 games ago, I think that might have been possible. I don't know whether he's going to fancy looking at this. I think the team-wise, I think he would. But the situation we're in...
Yeah, but only the table's so tight, comes in, gets 3 wins, he's in the top half.
No, I understand.
He's got a European campaign to look forward to in March. It can all change. But then you come in, if you get a Scott Parker in and a Sean Dyche, it will lift the crowd. But as soon as you go 1-0 down, bang, toxic again. Because they're not the names that we want at this football club.
And that's the situation now where that you've got to decide what you're going to do. Are you going to look to get an experienced manager who's fought relegation before, that's going to get the best out of players, who's going to make them work hard and keep you safe? Or you're going to try and change the whole philosophy and get a footballing manager in and then run the risk of that not working?
What's Dave Bassett doing? Is he still about?
Yeah.
I think with their track record, they're going to look at, we're in a dogfight, we want someone of experience who's got experience in a dogfight.
Well, you see the accounts coming out, I think yesterday was it, and they've said it's a possibility. They think it's a possibility that we could go down.
The thing is, though,
viable
with the players we've got here, right? You bring in a Thomas Tuchel, that's going to lift their player. They're playing for a manager who's won the Champions League, who's done well. You come in, no disrespect, but Sean Dyche walks in, Paqueta, Skamaka and that are going to sit there and think, who's this?
And
Is
again, that's the difference.
No, but that's it. And that's, I don't want to be disrespectful.
Someone with the record that Tuchel's got from Europe and things like that, you're going to get the better quality of player. They're going to get a lift. But we haven't got a team full of better quality players. We've got 2, 3.
Our defence is 5 of them tonight, right? 150.
Yeah.
Between the 5 of them.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, you got Ogbonna 34, Dawson 32, Cresswell 32, Sufell's 30, Emerson's 30. You know, that's
Thing is, though,
over 150 years old.
Look what you got.
It's ancient.
Look what you got. You got
Injured,
Zuma,
I know.
Aguerd, Kehrer. You know, we have got some decent players at this football club, decent centre backs. We just need to. It's at the moment everything's going wrong. We're losing injuries. You know, it's just all coming on top of us.
I think Kehrer was the wrong one to go tonight. In terms of the back 5,
going to back 5, you probably would have seen him come in as the third centre back and not Creswell.
For the pace.
Gone
for the pace.
Oggy, Kehrer, and Dawson as your 3 centre backs instead of Creswell. But like you said, that whole back 3 of that back line, there's no pace at all against Brentford.
And the thing is, this is the thing with Moyes as well. It's because he's done it before for him, and he relies on him. I'm afraid they've let him down tonight, and listen, I think he's got to go. He's clearly lost the dressing room. He clearly hasn't got a clue. I said this last night in the preview. Like, it's worrying what he's saying about. We just got to keep on doing the same thing. Like, you can't do it. Like, he changed it tonight. He changed a couple of players out, but I think he bottled it. You know, with Brentford, you've got to win this game. You've got to win this game, and his fault is always, like, with the attacking talent we've got, his fault is always don't concede, and it ain't working. I'd like to see the stats of last season and the season before, see how many of these goals that we got were from set pieces, because I think it was a lot.
What do we do set pieces now? I don't get excited anymore.
To be fair, the first 20 minutes we had a couple of corners. We had that chance with Dawson headed just wide. You know, we was winning the headers. We're winning the first ball. That's what we've not been doing a lot lately. We don't win the first ball. We don't win the second ball. And then you see it today. We get a corner. We don't win the ball. They're straight up the other end.
But I think that's because you've got the same tactics. You're relying on set pieces. They can look at notes from 2 years ago and they know what's coming. So,
but the quality of the ball going into the box isn't good enough.
It's shit. It's crap.
We get a corner, we go short. Why are we going short? You know, our strengths are meant to be from set pieces. We've got some big lads in our side, and we go short, and we don't beat the first man. That's what I'm saying.
But the whole club, the players, the staff, the fans especially, just need a lift. And I think if they're going to stick with Moyes, just come out and say they're going to stick with Moyes. Do you know? Just say that.
Say something tonight.
Don't just sit there and go, oh, let it carry on, because as I said, I don't want it to turn toxic towards Moyes, where you know, because he doesn't deserve that. But if they're going to get rid of him, get the right man in, and it can lift this football club. It can change. You get a win, back-to-back wins, and then before you know it, everyone's doing the Congo
if they
again.
haven't been thinking about it over that 6 weeks, they're silly, because it was bad. But thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's post-match reaction. Go and check out all the fan cams there, and I suppose we'll be building up towards Leeds on Wednesday. I'll be there. Long old journey. Is this the end of Moyes? Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you're new. One thing left to say.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Come on, your irons.
Come on, your irons.